Saints played the Giants, beat them 24-6. Giants aren't a good team. Saints also not a good team, except they're 7-7. They're tied for first place in the NFC South. I think this game with the Saints and Giants is hilarious, and it's a exactly perfect example of what the Saints and what Derek Carr does. Derek Carr beats bad teams, loses to good teams, and then the mediocre teams, it's a coin flip when they play each other. And so for the Saints, they come into this game 6-7. That's not good. And now it's like, oh, all of a sudden they're 7-7. They beat a team like, oh, they're tied for first. No. This game needs to get more attention because it's going to be like, oh my gosh, the Saints, it's like the Saints, to me, in every indicator that I've seen, are a bad football team. Like, they're not good. Their offensive efficiency is horrible. Their third down conversion rate on offense is horrendous. Their defense is okay, but has some flashes of greatness and then also gets smoked in other occasions. The Saints are not a good football team. Absolutely, unequivocally a zero threat to win the Super Bowl. If they make the playoffs, if they win the AFC or the NFC South rather, no threat. Like, they're going to host the home playoff game and they're going to lose to whoever they play. They're going to lose. They're not a good team. And this game, people people need to remember this game. Like, oh, they're 7-7 or, oh, they finished the year 9-8. Like, they beat the Giants. Like, they're not good. They're not a good team. Taking a look at their schedule, how they've done and played against legitimate, actual contending NFL football teams. Here's the wins. Here's the wins for the Saints this season. There's 7 victories. They beat the Titans by 1 point at home in week 1. That's not an impressive or good win. They beat the Panthers in week 2. Poop. They beat the Patriots in week 5. Poop. They beat the Colts and put up 38 points. How does that happen when they scored 16 against the Titans? And then the Bears in back-to-back weeks of week, I think 8 and 9, that is. Then they lose 3 in a row to the Vikings, Falcons, and Lions. And they beat the Panthers and Giants in back-to-back weeks. So here's their wins again. Titans, Panthers, Patriots, Colts, Bears, Panthers again, Giants. Oh, but they have 7 wins. So who do they lose to 7 times? Lost to the Packers. That's not a good football team. Lost to the Bucks. Middle tier again. Packers, Bucks, Texans, Vikings, Falcons. Those are all middle tier teams. For the New Orleans Saints, flip a coin. They're either going to barely beat them or they're going to barely lose. Guess what? Their losses are the Packers, mediocre team. Bucks, mediocre team. Texans, good, but, mediocre team. They lost to the Jags, who are pretty good. Vikings, mediocre team. Lost to the Falcons, mediocre team. And then they lost to the Lions, who are better than that. So every time they played a mediocre or good football team, they get smoked. Every time they play a bad football team, they beat them, I guess. The Saints are terrible. The Saints are not going to do anything. And I just wish they could just simulate the rest of their games. Simulate the rest of their games. If they get in or if the Bucks get in, they're the same type of team. Simulate the rest. Give one of the teams the NFC South crown at 9-8 or 8-9 with a tiebreaker, because there's going to be 4 teams. I don't think a single team in the NFC South will get the 10 wins. And then they don't get the 10 wins. Whoever it is, give them the NFC South crown. Great. And then just the team they're matched up with in the first round of the playoffs, just simulate it. That team's going to beat whoever it is in the NFC South. Teams are a non-threat. Same thing. Moving on to the next game. And the reason I went on that diatribe, the Panthers played the Falcons in a wet, sloppy Carolina stadium. And the Panthers beat the Falcons 9-7 on a walk-off field goal. 9-7. The Falcons 6-7 coming into the game, and they lose to the 1-12 Carolina Panthers. Just for that, the Falcons should be automatically eliminated from any and every playoff scenario, playoff contention type thing. Because there's a chance, right? The Falcons could win out, be 9-8, and the rest of the teams that suck in the NFC South could also lose, and the Falcons could get into the playoffs. Oh my God, I hope so bad the Falcons are in the playoffs. What a waste of time that would be. The Falcons are historically bad. I know it was a really, really, really sloppy and wet and bad environment for an offensive production. Totally understand. That. I get it. But if I'm going to sit here and pull up my box score, I'm going to sit here and look at the offensive production from this game and look at Drake London, first round pick, getting targeted 3 times. Kyle Pitts, first round pick, getting targeted 4 times in the entire game. And Bijan Robinson getting 7 carries. 7 carries. First round pick, Bijan Robinson getting 7 carries. That is disgusting. Cordero Patterson is getting 5 carries. Bijan Robinson is getting 7. That is unfathomable. Tyler Algier had 14 carries. Why? Why is that happening? Why are the Falcons allergic to playing their best players, their number 1 picks? Why do they do that? I don't know why, but if you do it, now you're going to be 6-8. It's exactly what happens when you don't play your number 1 picks. What's the point of using a first round pick? What is the point of using it if you're just not going to use the players? And then there's games where they do use their players effectively. They give him a good workload. They target their first round receiving picks, Kyle Pitts at tight end and Drake London at receiver, and they go ballistic. Drake London gets targeted 13 times. Weird. He has 11 catches for 100 plus yards and a touchdown. What? Here's Bijan Robinson's game logs. Oh, the guy who was, that's right, the 8th overall pick in the NFL draft last year. Week 2, he gets 19 carries. Oh my God, 124 yards. What? Plays the Saints at home, gets 16 carries, 91 yards. Oh, what? They play the Cardinals, it gets 22 carries, 95 yards. Oh my God. Oh, they're playing Carolina and it's raining? Yeah, 7 carries. What are we talking? Like, what are they doing? He gets 4.6 yards a carry. That's so good. And the Falcons are like, yeah, we need Desmond Ridder to let it loose today. Drake London, 8th overall pick, 2022, 2 years ago. Last week, 11 targets, 10 catches, 172 yards. What? Against New Orleans, 7 targets, 5 catches for 91 yards. Oh my God. Against the Commanders, 12 targets. How about 9 catches, 125 yards? Oh my God, he can do that. Oh, it's they're playing Carolina Panthers, the worst team in the NFL. Yeah, I know it's raining, but 3 targets. 3 targets. Dude, what a joke of a joke of a team. Joke of a team. I hope the Falcons never, ever, ever get anywhere close to the playoffs until Arthur Smith is up and gone.